All right, everybody, good morning. Monday, fun day here at the gym. It is the middle of July. It is the 17th of July. And Coach Melissa here with another check-in for what we call nutrition news. So every Monday I check in here on the NV Fitness fan page and discuss something that relates to our members or relates to what we do here or relates to health and fitness or relates to nutrition. That could be of interest to our members and to just our followers on Facebook. So, welcome once again to everybody. And today we're going to talk about fish oil, what it is, and what it does for you. Before we get into that, just a shout out about this week's affirmation to our members. So, each week we have a different weekly affirmation for our members, and that is like a positive thought or a positive mantra for you to think about, to repeat, to practice throughout the week. And this week the mantra or the affirmation is, I can choose to have a positive frame of mind. I can choose to have a positive frame of mind. And I'm going to talk about this more with my members throughout the week, but everything is a choice. Everything that happens is neutral. That's the event. That is what happens. And the way that you interpret it is a choice. Whether you decide or interpret it to be positive or negative, that's a choice that you're making. And you can choose to have a positive frame of mind. Sometimes it's really difficult. I'm not underestimating that. However, it is a choice. And I'm going to talk about this more throughout the week. But just a little hint or a little teaser to our members that is this week's affirmation. I can choose to have a positive frame of mind. So I encourage you to practice that mindset and that way of thinking. What's happening here? Well, this Friday night, you might find us, a group of us, down at the Goddard Beach. Around 7 o'clock, we're going to meet up there. We're going to have a little summer social with our members, just something that we try to do. To get together with our members outside of the gym, to get to know each other, to include, our spouses, our significant others, our family, our kids, and have like a group setting, a group social, a group fun time get together. So this Friday we're planning to try out stand-up paddleboarding down to the Goddard Beach. We're gonna do a potluck, and we may even stick around for the piping down of the sun. We might try out the rotary fitness equipment. So we're going to be down there at the Goddard Beach, coaches and members and families, Friday at 7. Really looking forward to that. For the members who are interested in being a part of that, there's a sign-up sheet here in the gym. So just make sure you get your name on that so we know how much of everything to bring. Okay, so back to the topic this week, fish oil. What is fish oil? Well, it's oil from fish, to be very literal, right? Fish oil is rich in two specific groups of omega-3 fatty acids, and those are DHA and EPA. And there's really, really long names for both of those that you can look up. I can't pronounce, and I'm not even going to try. But DHA and EPA, along with a third one, ALA. Now, ALA is found in things like flax and walnuts. They all fall under those three, DHA, EPA, and ALA. They all fall under the subheading of omega-3 fatty acids. Now, when you eat just the ALA containing foods like flax or chia or walnuts, things like that, you're kind of crossing your fingers and hoping that you're getting enough omega-3s or that enough of it gets converted to EPA and DHA. Eating fish and taking fish oil supplements gets you the actual EPA and the DHA directly that you need, gets you enough omega-3s for your diet that you need. So what are these omega-3? What are omega-3 fatty acids? What's the big deal about them? Well, they're very important for your health. Things that they affect: cardiovascular function, so your heart, how well your heart functions, pretty big deal. Your nervous system function and your brain development. Your brain is built out of fat. It's healthy. The more healthy fat you can give your brain, the better your brain's going to develop. Omega-3s are very important for your immune health, so overall immune system health. They help fight. It's a natural way to fight inflammation or joint pain throughout the body. They help address that. They also have an integral role in promoting cell health. Research also shows that low DHA consumption, so not getting very much of it, is associated with things like memory loss, difficulty concentrating, even Alzheimer's disease, and other mood problems. So there's a lot of reasons to make sure you're getting enough EPA, DHA, omega-3 healthy fats, fatty acids. Cells in the body, so the cells, in a cellular level, the cells in your body have a fatty membrane, okay? That's known as the lipid bilayer. However, this membrane, it regulates what gets into the cell and what comes out of it. So the fluidity of the cell membranes actually depends on the fatty acid, omega-3, omega-6 fatty acid composition of your diet. What the fat that you eat, so the type of fat that you eat, that affects your cell membranes. When you eat more saturated fat, your membranes are built using those saturated fats, and they get stiffer. They're not as permeable. They're not as fluid, And when you eat more unsaturated fat, which includes these omega-3 fatty acids, the membranes get built with those and are more flexible. So things are able to pass through a little easier, a little bit better. So 2 examples, if you take some lard, so lard is a saturated fat. And if you take some fish oil, like some liquid fish oil, which is a polyunsaturated fat, if you put them both in your freezer overnight, in the morning, you'll find that the lard is rock solid, while the fish oil is actually still liquid, even though it's been in the freezer. The same thing can happen with your cells. The more saturated fat that you put into your body, the more rigid those cells are going to be, versus the more polyunsaturated, the more fluid they're going to be, the more easier things will pass in and out of those cells. So cells require these good fats for repair and regeneration of new cells. With lots of omega-3s, if you have lots of omega-3s in the body, your muscle cells can become more sensitive to insulin while your fat cells decrease. This may mean that the body can turn more nutrients into muscle tissue, so this is a good thing. And it's also been shown too that DHA and EPA can increase your metabolism, so your overall metabolic rate, by increasing the levels of enzymes in the bodies that boost your ability to burn calories. So that has been shown numerous times, and we've seen that in the gym too, that members that start taking fish oil, which is your DHA and EPA supplement, consistently and regularly, can actually see an increase in their ability to burn fat. Pretty awesome. We cannot make omega-3s or omega-6s, which is another type of fatty acid. We can't make those in the body, so we need to get them from our diets because our body needs them. Obviously, we've just talked about all the good things that they do, these omega-3s, but the body doesn't make it on its own, so it needs to get that from our diets. Like I said, there's 2 types of fatty acids, omega-3s and omega-6s. It's pretty easy to get omega-6 fatty acids. These are found in plant oils, for example, like vegetable oil. They're also found in factory-raised animals that eat a lot of corn and soy. Whatever the animal eats, if you eat the animal, then you're in turn eating that too, right? So if the factory-fed animal is eating a lot of corn or a lot of soy, then that's what you're getting too. A lot of processed foods, convenience foods, packaged foods, and a lot of grains all have omega-6s. So it's not difficult for us to get those omega-6 fatty acids. It seems, though, harder for people in Western countries like ours to get enough omega-3 fatty acids just from their diet, just from what they eat. It seems like as a society, we eat a lot more processed foods and a lot more wild game and plants than our ancestors did. So a lot of times people ask me, I have venison or I have moose, or I have wild game. Is that good for me to eat? Should I be eating that? And my answer as far as this goes is yes, because it has a lot more omega-3 fatty acids in it because the diet of that animal itself is a lot more natural. So it itself took in a lot more omega-3s, which are then passed on to you when you eat it. We don't usually eat, as a society as a whole, we usually don't eat things like snails and insects, right, regularly, which are high in omega-3s. although many folks do in other parts of the world, but us as a society here in Western society, not necessarily. We rely heavily now on omega-6 vegetable oils, and anything that you eat in a restaurant that's cooked with in oil often is with vegetable oil, same as anything that you eat deep fried, especially in a restaurant, that's going to be with vegetable oil, right? So like years ago, what our ancestors ate would be like a 1-to-1 ratio. So omega-3 to omega-6, what they ate in their diet was like 1-to-1. It's pretty even. Nowadays, though, it's closer to like 1-to-20. So like 1 part omega-3 to 20 parts omega-6s. So this is completely out of balance, right? And that often shows up in our body as far as inflammation goes, joint pain, just, gut health, just lots of ways that this shows up, and just general feelings of unwell. Omega-3s and omega-6s compete with each other for space in our cells, and there's only so much space. So that ratio is important, that making sure that you're not getting too much omega-6s, but you are getting enough omega-3s, bringing that kind of back into more of a more equal ratio is important. When it comes to this fat intake, you really are what you eat. So that's kind of what we talked about, and whatever the animal is eating, that's basically what you're eating. So keeping mindful of that, or where you're getting your fat from, right? Like if you're getting your fat from processed, hydrogenated, packaged, convenient foods, that's basically what's making up your cells. So there's questions about how healthy that really is for you on a very, basic cellular level. Years of research has linked lower fat diets, so not getting enough fat in your diet, with aggression, depression, suicidal thoughts. Over time, the cells in your brain take on the dietary fat you consume. So your brain, right, is being made up of the fat that you consume. So DHA is the active fat in the brain, especially important through the developmental stages of life. So the first 5 years of life and prenatally. Having enough DHA and EPA, these healthy omega-3s is very important. Omega-3 fats, the amount of DHA in a woman's diet will determine, like a pregnant woman's diet, will determine the amount that's then in her breast milk, which she's then passing on to her baby if she's breastfeeding, which is then forming that baby's brain. So it's all very much connected, and healthy fats, very important, and a lot of people don't think about that or don't realize that. So that's the point of today's conversation. Researchers have actually said that the billions of dollars we spend on anti-inflammation drugs, such as aspirin, ibuprofen, acetaminophen, etc., is money that you're spending to undo the effects of too much omega-6s in the diet. So undo the way that we're eating. The way that you're eating is then affecting how you're feeling, all of that inflammation, and the drugs that you're now paying for and putting into your body is simply undoing the effects that diet is having on you. So you can get your omega-3 index actually tested at the doctor, so you can ask them about that too and learn more about that if you want to get very specific and really fancy about it. I'm not going to go into that today, but that is always an option that you have. The results of eating or consuming EPA, DHA, that's going to depend, like how the effect that it has on you. It's different for men versus women. It's different depending on your body weight. It's different depending on your age, your hormones, your activity level, like on and on and on. However, there are lots of benefits. It's not really, dangerous for you. It doesn't really have any negatives to it. So how do you do this? Like, what are you buying? Well, you can buy fish oil in a capsule form, like a pill form in a bottle, or you can buy it actually as a liquid as well. And the liquid fish oil is much more concentrated, so you can get a lot more in a single serving. Like 1 tablespoon would be the equivalent of taking, I think it's like 10 or 12 capsules of fish oil. So I myself use liquid fish oil. We sell it here in the gym. We like the Genuine Health brand. That's what we sell here. You can also buy it in pharmacies and health food stores. it's pretty commonly found, but you want to make sure that you buy a high quality fish oil. You want to make sure that it has an expiry date, and you want to make sure that you use it before that date. So if you're going to use fish oil, do some research on the brand that you're choosing. Cheap is not always best. Oftentimes, you're getting what you pay for. Okay? You're going to want to keep it in the fridge or even in the freezer. Fish oil stays pretty stable at refrigerated temperature for about 40 days, and it can actually stay in the freezer for like upwards of 100 days. You want to get a smaller bottle, and I know sometimes we like to buy a big bottle because we can save money often, right? But you finish the smaller bottle quicker, so it's less likely to expire, it's less likely to break down, it's more likely to give you exactly what you're paying for and exactly what you want it to do. So sometimes the bigger bottle isn't always best if you're not going to get through it all by the expiration date. It should go without saying, if it smells or bad, or if it tastes bad and not just like fishy, because sometimes that's, people think that's bad, but off, like if it smells or tastes like mushrooms or like cucumbers or just rancid or weird, get rid of it. And restock, buy a new bottle new bottle of fish oil. And I've even read here that you can wrap your fish oil with aluminum foil to reduce its exposure to light. And it says that's what scientists do in labs to protect chemicals that are sensitive to light. So that's another option as well, just to ensure that you're getting, the most potent dose of it as you can, and making sure that it's not breaking down in any way. So yeah, you can do it in a liquid form. That's what I recommend because it's more concentrated. You can get it flavored. You can get flavored fish oil now that kind of masks that fishy taste. You can get them without fishy aftertaste. You can get lemon flavored and chocolate flavored and orange flavored. And I know that some people, they use it as a salad dressing, this liquid fish oil. Some people put it into their shakes or their smoothies as a way to get it in. Some people take it in the morning, some people take it at night. I've had questions, is it safe for kids? Is it okay for kids? And my understanding is that yes, it is. Of course, we're always going to recommend that kids and adults get, as much as they can, nutrients, vitamins, minerals from whole foods. But when it comes to fish, that can be tricky. When it comes to this, EPA and DHA and omega-3s in general, that can be tricky. Especially in this area of the world. And a lot of people tend to question, the quality of the fish that they're eating too. So this may make you feel a little bit better about that. Usually the quality of the product, fish oil, is quite pure and not, doesn't really have the metal or the mercury that often people are concerned about with fish. So as I mentioned, there are a lot of benefits. There's a lot of important reasons to have fish oil. I do recommend it. I do suggest it to everybody in your home. And of course, if you have any questions about that, feel free to speak with your healthcare provider or with a registered dietitian or a nutritionist. Definitely make sure that you understand what you're buying and are confident in the research supporting it. But yeah, that's kind of, in a nutshell, omega-3 nuts. In a nutshell, that's our conversation on fish oil today. So there's EPA, there's DHA, and there's ALA, which you'll find as omega-3 fatty acids. ALA, things like chia seeds, nuts, hemp seeds, that kind of thing. Not as much EPA and DHA as you'll find in actual fish or fish oil products. So even if you do a lot of nuts and seeds, you're still going to want a fish or an algae oil, if you're a vegan and vegetarian, a fish or a krill or algae oil supplement to make sure you're getting enough omega-3 fatty acids that have all these great benefits to the body. That's today. That's our Monday edition of Nutrition News. We are working to put this up onto YouTube each week now. So if you want to pass this on to someone that doesn't have Facebook, or you want to find it later and it's buried on this page, we do have a YouTube channel as well that you can find these videos that we're doing weekly up on too. Next week, I will be back with a new topic. As always, let me know if you have a request, and I will work at putting that out here too. You can find us here every Monday. I'm Coach Melissa. You can find me here every Monday around this time, 11:30, talking about all things that might interest you, health, fitness, nutrition related. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a great Monday, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.